Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. In the next series of videos, I'm going to show you how to build an airplane in Fusion 360. And the airplane that we're going to build, it's going to be similar to the airplane from the last video that some of you probably already seen. If not, you should go and see it. There are going to be some changes, of course, but I'm going to use some of the materials from there. With that said, what I'm not gonna teach you is aerodynamics and physics. Obviously, it depends on what your plan regarding this airplane. If it's just gonna be for fun, or you're going to print it, or you want to actually build an airplane that can fly. In that case, you should really go and figure it out how airplane actually works. And really learn about aerodynamics, physics, and everything that relates to that. I know that because I'm a commercial pilot license, so you should really know about it, especially regarding the airfoil and wings and stuff, how everything is actually works. Otherwise, it's never gonna be it's never gonna stay in the air. So, but where I am gonna teach you, it's from the moment you already created the plan, and I'm going to show you also what I mean about the plan, and then I'm going to take it from there, and then we're going to start building everything. And hopefully I'll try to do my best to make them relatively short as much as I can, but otherwise they're going to be quite many of those videos. We're going to go through each part. So well, what I'm talking about a plan is we're gonna go through, for example, how to approach the design before. You have to really think about how and where you're gonna start. As I always says, a good design, you're gonna need a good plan. Otherwise, you're gonna have all kind of challenges which are really unnecessary. So for example, in our case, when you want to build an airplane, so you have to think about all the different pieces that you have that actually build the airplane. So we know we have wings, we have the fuselage, we have the vertical stabilizer, horizontal stabilizer, engine, and so on. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the best practice in Fusion, of course. We are going to create the sub-assemblies. And that is for building the structure. It's going to be easier for us in the long run. Okay. So for example, here, this is an example of a sub-assembly. I know I'm going to start with the wing. Sorry. So we're going to create a sub-assembly wings. And that is because, again, the wings build out of many different kind of pieces. For example, we have the wings, we have the airfoil, we have flaps, ailerons, wing jigs. I might gonna do a video about it. I'm not quite sure. And if you want me to make it, so I'm gonna show in a moment what you need to do. And then we also have the nav lights and so on. So this is how you're supposed to build it, do the preparation. What is it that you wanna build and how you're gonna build it and so on. And you can see also the same for the fuselage. We have the fuselage itself, we have the windows, doors, landing gears, and so on. And how you build it. So you have to prepare everything before you're starting actually the design. Okay. And yeah. Now, in regards to the videos and things that I'm not going to show, and if you really want me to show you how to do this, what I need you to do is I have created a specific forum for that. And I'll show you in a moment where it is. If you haven't visited the new benchmark platform that I've created, testrec.com, you should go and check it out. There's some really good information about hardware performances and so on. You should also test your hardware, especially if you're going to buy a new computer. So here you get all the information regarding what kind of performance different hardware can give you. Okay, I'm not going to get into that right now, but you should go and check it out and do the test. But in the community, I've created I'm going to add the direct link into this forum. I've created a miscellaneous top form and Fusion 360 underneath. And here you can just add a new topic. Don't forget to register, otherwise you're not going to be able to ask questions. And everything here, by the way, it's for free, so don't worry about it. So here you can just add a new topic and ask me any question that you want regarding the videos. And if you want me to add a new video regarding any specific features, specific parts that you want to build inside, how to do that, and I might consider adding, in the end, I'm going to do like a video collection of all the questions that you going to ask me along the way. So, though I really would like to urge you to go in here, and I'm not going to use the comments from the YouTube channel. I'd rather use it over here. It's going to be much more centralized, easy going to define, and you can also have the ability to add pictures and videos and so on. With all due respect to YouTube comments area, it's going to be very difficult to track all the informations and to find it and so on. So here it's going to, I'm sure you're going to agree with me, it's going to be much easier. Okay, so so as I mentioned before, a good design, a good assembly requires a good planning. So think about it first. What are you going to use this airplane, and how you're going to use it, and if you're going to print it or really going to build it and do something like this in Excel, it's going to be much more structured. It's going to be much easier for you. And it's also, of course, you're going to use the name over here. We're going to use it also in Fusion. So I'm going to show you now how we're going to start. Now, another thing is, usually if you are building an airplane, so you have some kind of drawing, some of you, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to build something from your head, especially something like that. In that case, as I mentioned before, I'm going to use the same airplane-ish that I used before, the Piper 140. So I found these drawings in the internet. What thing you have to remember about this kind of drawings, that there must be proportionals, okay, in terms of all the pieces inside here. And that is because we're gonna use that and try to figure out the sizes, also all the different parts. And how we're gonna do that? There are different ways. One way, for example, is to use the information that we have here, as you can see. So we have the wingspan, the length overall, and so on. So we can take that and we can use it and to measure the different different parts in Fusion. You can use that. The other way, it's what I did. For example, I inserted that image inside in the beginning inside the Fusion, okay, as a canvas, and then I used the what is it called? Yeah, it's the calibrate, okay? And I'm gonna show you basically now. Let's take, for example, this one here. So if we take the calibrate, so I decided from here to here, it's gonna be 200, okay? And again, it's the first drawing. So I did like a test page here, and that gave me also to help me to find out what's going to be all the other parts sizes, okay? Because everything is proportional. So when I size this page here, everything else also changed. All the measurement changed inside. And so I start measuring from here, how much is it, and again all the other measurements, and that's how the next step. What I did is I cut all those pieces out of this picture, and as you can see here, you see it's here we have the side view, and then I also have the top view, okay, and then I also have the front view. Here we go, okay. And then I imported as you can see here, I started with a side view. I imported the pieces in here. And now you can see in relation to the origin where it is, it was much easier to put it right here, okay, in the tip. So try to make it as precise as you possibly can. So you put it in, you use the calibrate, and then you say, okay, I want it to be 200, it's going to be resized. And again, you have to make sure that is positioned correctly. And yeah, and that's it. That's how you're doing also for the rest. Okay, for the top, again, you're gonna import it in, and then you're gonna measure from here to here, and boom, you're gonna put it in. Or you can also measure from here to here, and then the rest is actually gonna fit. And then you do the same for in the front. And everything, as you can see, it's in relation to the root component origin. So it looks really, really nice. So you try to do it as precise as possible. Otherwise, you're going to have issues along the way, if not. So from that point, what we are going to do is we're going to work on the wing. That's going to be the first tutorial right now. And I'm just gonna hide the front and the top and this origin. So in order to get the airfoil, there are many ways you can get it from. The last video, I actually got it from here. And just because I knew this is something I'm not gonna, print it or build it myself. But if you are going to, you're serious about it, then you should go to this website here called Airfoil Tools. And it's a very known website. You have basically almost all the type of airplanes. Now, for those of you who are wondering, okay, what is the typical airfoil for airplanes? There aren't really any, because you have to think about what type of airplanes. Each airfoil has its own characteristics. So you really have to be careful when you really want to build it so the airplane will fly. So you really have to know what you're talking about. I'm going to put in the description both the link for this one and a short list of typical, in quote, if you can call that, of airfoil for specific, for a group of airplanes types. Okay, so this is maybe gonna help you. So over here you can find basically everything. Okay, you can find it under the search database. I don't know why this one is not this. Okay, so you have the search database here. You have the plotter. I'm not quite sure why this one is not working. It should work. Let's see if we go to something wrong displaying this website. Oh, not sure what is this. Let's try to see if I can go back. It's not taking me anywhere, but this is really weird. Let's see. I'm just gonna clean. Oh, I just want to clean the cookies here. Okay, so as you can see here, if you go to the website here, then you have the airfoil database here. You can do a free search, and then you can also basically save your own airfoils. We can create them. You have the Airfoil Plotter, and this is the area where I'm using. You go into the airfoil, you choose from here which airfoil do you want, and for that example, I've used the Clark Y. Where is it? It's this one. Okay, you can see this is the Clark wire. From here I changed the chord in millimeter because the chord, it's the from the trailing edge to the from the leading edge to the trailing edge, one straight line, and this is how wide it is, as you can still see here. So I decided I wanted in 300 millimeters because I wanted to be in good resolution. So I'm gonna plot it again. I'm not quite sure why it's giving me this error all the time. Now next, you can read about this information. What I did is I also wanted to add a camber line, and you will see in a moment what it is. The camber line is the center line, basically goes through cutting the airfoil into half, and this is something that we might gonna use after that in some point. And you see here there's a lot of information here. So we have the camber line, and yeah, you can change colors if you want, change the angle of attack. Okay, now another thing I want to change here is I want to bring here the center, it's over here, origin. Yeah, I want to change the origin so it's going to be at the center of the airfoil. So I'm going to put it in 50%. And now it's right here. Okay, so now I know this is the center, the midpoint of the airfoil. Now, how are we gonna use it? The easiest way is by opening it here in full size, as you can see here. By the way, this information we don't need, so what I'm gonna do is data box, we don't need, plot. I don't know what's going on with this website today. Okay, good. And now all we gotta do is we're just gonna save this piece here. You know, you can use the Microsoft, I don't know which machine you have, the print screen, you know, and then just make sure you have only this piece here and save it as a picture. And then we're going to import it into our work here, our project. And I'm going to show you now how we're going to do this. So we're here, but before we're going to import anything, remember we have our structure we need to build. So we start by this SA subassembly wings, which we're going to create here, new component, and it's going to be subassembly wings. So, next I'm going to do is I'm going to take the I'm going to call it the wings, for example, right underneath here, a new subassembly wings. And if you want, you can create everything here right already now in the beginning, or you can also create them along the way. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to create them right now. At least for the wings, I'm not going to do everything. And then we're going to take also the ailerons, just because I want you to see how it's going to look in the end. And we also have the nav lights. That's for sure. I'm going to show you how to do. And what's going on here? Good. So we are working basically here, and remember, you're not going to activate this piece here and work, because otherwise it's going to be inside here and it's going to be a huge mess. So we work on the wings, we're going to activate the wings component. Okay, so the first sketch, if you're going to go to sketch, this is where we're going to place our the canvas. It's going to be, we're not going to use it for anything else but the canvas. And you're going to see in a moment how it looks. So we're saying, okay, attach canvas. And we choose this face. We're going to look for I put it in my desktop. And over here, this is the mid airfoil with the origin in the middle. And I'm going to bring it over here. You don't see it yet, but let me zoom in. I'm just going to resize it. I'm gonna resize, so it's gonna be something like that. Maybe a little bit more. Now it's become a little bit more sensitive for the size itself. Let's see, are we almost there? Maybe a little bit more. And let's see if I'm gonna zoom in, it's gonna give me maybe a little bit more gentle. Okay, let's see now. It's a little bit better. I think we passed it a little bit, but this one is okay. Now we need to make sure that our center line here, it's gonna be also with the drawing's own center line. So how are we gonna do this? We need to change the angle. So we need to make sure it is the same. Let's see, where is the center line here? We didn't create it yet. So as you can see, this is my first mistake. I'm just gonna cancel this one. So the first sketch I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna create a center line. And that's good, I've made this mistake. So you can see also, you understand also why it's important. So I'm gonna go in here, I'm just gonna create a simple line from this point here and all the way down here. So imagine we are drawing a straight line, okay, from the leading edge to the trailing edge. So that's also gonna give us the angle. You can also call it the angle of attack. And that's it. So I'm just gonna do this and I'm gonna freeze it. And voila. Okay, so now we can import, bring in our picture here, the airfoil. We're gonna bring it back in, and this is the face. It's right here. We're gonna do it again. Yeah, this one, it's a little bit, I know it's gonna be a little bit annoying, the process, but we have to do it. It is what it is. But luckily we're just doing it once and that's it. We're gonna have our airfoil, which we're gonna use and reuse other places. So this point here, it's very gentle, as you can see. I'm unfortunately haven't really figured out how we can change, you know, the angle. It's jumping 5 degrees. I don't know exactly how we can change it so it's not gonna jump. So it's gonna be a much more gentle movement. It's really, really annoying. But in terms of the size, it's good size. So now what I have to figure it out is how to make it parallel to the other center line. Okay, so so you're gonna have to work very gentle. Let's start with 2 degrees and let's see if it's good. No, it's not good. Maybe it's too much. So if we're doing 1, no, now we already need to switch to -1, and maybe this is it. Let's see, I'm gonna bring it down on top of it, and it looks pretty good. Let's see it here. It's not bad. It's not bad. I can work with that. But it must be as precise as possible. Okay. The same goes for this one here. Let's see if I can move it. I'm gonna use this 3. Yes, like this. And as you can see in the background, you can see the airfoil here. They're completely different. So for every airplane, it's got its own airfoil. So this one looks good. I can work with this one. And then we're just gonna hit OK. So now we have placed our airfoil, and we're ready to actually create a sketch on top of it. So we're gonna sketch our own airfoil. There are other options which are not so good, and I'm not going to use them. That's why I'm not showing you that. You can also save this plotted. I can show you here if you really want to try it, but it's not going to work well as this SVG and bring it here. Bring it inside the Fusion, because of course you can bring an SVG, but it's called the sketch, the geometry. It's built out of many small, connected points, and it's not going to be good to work with, especially when you need to extrude it, and especially if you're going to use the patch environment to extrude it, it's going to be a mess. You can try it to see what I mean. So next, we're going to create a new sketch on top of it. So now inside this sketch, you're not going to touch anything, and also inside this sketch. And as you can see, the canvas is already underneath here. So we're building a new sketch on top of it. Now we are going to use one of the latest tools, which is amazing. I've been waiting for that for a very long time. And it's called the Control Point Spline, which is very easy to work with. So we're going to use this one. And we are going to start. Let's see, yeah, somewhere here. Now at this point, if you want, you can remove the snap, so it's not going to snap into to the grid, because it can be annoying. So we're going to start from here, and we're going to follow the red line. Try general to put less, but that's not going to matter that much in this situation, because in general, this kind of points, we try to create less as possible. Less is good, but in this case, it doesn't really matter. We just want to be focused on the shape, so it's going to be as precise as possible. So I'm just going to follow the grid in the picture here. And then in the end, we're going to do some fixes. Now, when we're going to get to the area where it's going to be really curvy, like right here, I'm going to add more points in order to get the shape correctly. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, I know it's a little bit time consuming in the beginning, but don't worry, trust me, it's worth it. And you're gonna see in the end, the airfoil is gonna be beautiful. I'm just gonna hit the other option is to hit the control on the keyboard, and that's gonna give you completely freedom. Not quite sure what happened here. It's just gonna hit Control Z, and then it's gonna fix it. So I'm gonna hit now the control. Now we can move back and follow the green here, lines, and we're almost done. But we need to fix the shape. You're gonna see here in a moment. When I'm clicking on the see, I did a mistake again. When you click the middle button, you can move the whole canvas, and we are going to close it right here. Let me just zoom in here so you can see. Boom. And it doesn't matter if you're gonna crisscross the junction over here, okay? It's not a big deal, but you're not gonna be able to trim those ends. Okay, so now let's see how it looks. Might gonna do some few changes, but when you do the changes, hit the control on the keyboard, then it's gonna allow you, as you can see here, to make really nice adjustments. For example, like here a little bit. So you know it's gonna be as perfect as you humanly possibly can make it. Especially at the leading edge, it can look a little bit weird. Over there we need to do a little bit more corrections. Okay. But in general, so far as you can see, it looks pretty good. Okay, what happened here? Let's move this one instead, and this one. And yeah, it looks really nice. Now the lines, they look kind of weird just because remember we are really zoomed in. So that's why. So don't worry about it. When we're gonna extrude it, it's gonna look much nicer. Okay. This one looks good. No problem here. And yeah, this is it. So now we can finish the sketch. We can stop it. I'm just gonna hide this one, and I'm gonna hide the canvas over here so you can see how it looks. Now, if you're wondering if we're gonna extrude it, how the airfoil is gonna look, and you can see now because we made it one one line, so that's why you don't see any kinds of different you can call it faces. So it's very smooth, as you can see. Looks really, really beautiful. Okay, just gonna hide the other one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another sketch on top of it, and we don't need this one right now. Just gonna delete it. And what we're going to do is I want to mark the chord and the camber line. It is very good to have them, especially the camber line. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new sketch, and I'm going to turn on the canvas. And this new sketch, again, give it a name so you know what is what. And here we know this is the airfoiled. Great. So in a moment I'm going to explain to you why we're doing it like this. So we're going to start here. We know it starts from this point at least, okay? Again, I'm gonna hit the control. This is the midpoint again of the center of our airfoil. We can maybe use it later on to cut our wing into exact half. For example, if that's what you want, if you want to do any kind of constructions inside the wings. So this is a good line to have, which is why I'm creating it right now. And you can also use it for other things as well. The end here, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Let's see if we're going to end it something like this. Boom. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that the line looks good. If there is any adjustments needed, so we're gonna adjust it. So it's gonna be as precise as humanly possible. Okay. Don't worry, we're finishing it with it very soon, and that's it. So I'm gonna select this line, right click, fix. Good. So we have, let's see if we can use the other line. Yeah, in theory, basically we can. You can use it as the chord line, and if we want, if not, we can create another one over here. But it looks good. So we have our Camber Line, and we have our airfoil, and everything is good. And why we divide them? Because we don't want it to interfere with our airfoil, because if, let's just say, we want to change something with the airfoil, so the other lines, we can just turn them off easily, so they're not going to disturb us. And in general, it's very recommended to separate the different geometries if they don't have to be on the same sketch. So separate them, because now you can see we have a really nice sketch of the airfoil. It's nice and clean, nothing else disturbing us. Okay, if you want to see the Camber Line, we can just edit. So this is a really good best practice. So now the next video, this is going to be the airfoil. You can see it's already took quite a while, also because of the other information that I gave you, but I'm going to finish this one now, and then you can just move on to the next video, and where we're going to start actually working on the wings itself. Okay, and this is going to be really cool and really interesting. They're going to be we'll see what kind of shape over wing we're going to do this time. They're all kind of shape, but I'm going to show you all the technique, how to get the angle both upwards and maybe also a wash also to the back. We'll see. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.